What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, here with the Chicago Bears team breakdown. Let's get right into it. Last season, they were the worst team in the NFL, 3-14, last in the NFC North, last in the NFC, last in the NFL. So, goes without saying they missed the playoffs. Even though, record-wise, they were the worst team, I don't think they felt like they were the worst team. Justin Fields late in the season kind of broke out and showed that he's going to be their guy, but then he got injured, and the season just kind of collapsed at the end when he was not playing, and then obviously the season ended with the Texans winning a game that gave the Bears the number one overall pick and caused them to be the worst team in the league. But I don't think the Bears really felt like they were the worst team, and I definitely don't think they are anymore. Looking at their notable additions, a lot of big ones. Pair of good linebackers. Tremaine Edmonds especially was one of the top linebackers in the league. T.J. Edwards from the Eagles, my guy, like him. Bummer that we lost him, but good for the Bears. You get two very good linebackers trying to make up for that loss of Roquan Smith last season. You also bring in Robert Tonyan at tight end. He'll be probably backing up Cole Kmet, brought him in from Green Bay. Donta Foreman at running back. He will join Khalil Herbert and whoever they drafted. Can't remember his name right now. See it in a second. In that running back room. Interior offensive lineman Nate Davis, and probably the splashiest addition in the huge pick that sent the number one overall pick to the Panthers. They bring in wide receiver DJ Moore. Looking at their notable losses, nothing too crazy. Sam Mustipher, N'Keal Harry, Byron Pringle, Darrington Evans, Nicholas Moreau, David Montgomery, Riley Reef. Nothing too significant here, so definitely I would say won the offseason, or had a winning offseason. I don't know about one. Roschon Johnson, that's the running back I was referring to earlier. Looking at the draft class, you get Darnell Wright in the first round. I believe traded back with the Eagles and drafted him at 10, which I feel like was a little early for him, but if that's going to be your franchise tackle, it's worth it. Protect your quarterback, Justin Fields. Should be good for them. Then you get Gervon Dexter, defensive lineman from Florida, and then his teammate Tyreek Stevenson, the corner out of Florida. Also Zach Pickens, Roschon Johnson, who I've already talked about, joining that running back room. Tyler Scott at wide receiver. Noah Sewell, I thought was a good value late, adding him to that linebacker room. Terrell Smith, Travis Bell, and Kendall Williamson. Overall solid draft class. I don't think it's anything too crazy, but I think they did good overall in the offseason. They filled a lot of holes on their roster, and they are going to field what I think is going to be a pretty good team next season. Looking at their opponents for next season, play the NFC North, obviously. I think they're right up there with the Lions for that top spot. This might be a hot take, but I personally think that the Vikings are going to be the worst team in the NFC North. I think the Packers have a defense that is good enough to keep them ahead of the Vikings, or put them back ahead of the Vikings, since the Vikings won it last year. Vikings obviously had a very good record last year, but I feel like it was kind of higher than it should have been. I'll touch more on that when we get to the Vikings breakdown next week, but just a little bit of my thoughts. I do think that the Bears are going to be competing with the Lions for that top spot. Anyway, back to looking at their opponents. Also played the NFC South and AFC West, as well as the Cardinals, Browns, and Commanders. Looking at their ceiling, I have at 11-6, which is the same ceiling I have for the Detroit Lions. I have them same as the Lions, splitting the Lions, where the Lions are splitting the Bears, and then sweeping the Vikings and Packers in the ceiling. Beating the Falcons, Saints, and Bucks, losing to the Panthers, and then beating the Broncos, Raiders, losing to the Chargers, Chiefs, and then I have them beating the Cardinals but losing to the Browns and Commanders. I think what stands out here is I have them losing to the Commanders in their ceiling. I don't think the Commanders are going to be a good team. I'll say that. And it's just, I feel like their defense is very good, so I could definitely see them beating the Bears. Justin Fields, he has shown a lot of promise, and I am a big believer, but he's still a young quarterback. So, tough defenses. That's kind of my same thought process with the Browns and Panthers. Might struggle more against, and it's more so that I don't see the Bears as a 12-5 team. I think their absolute ceiling is closer to 11-6, so you have to give another loss in there somewhere, and I picked the Commanders because I could see that, and games can go either way, but I don't think that the Commanders are a better team than the Bears. I'll just get that out of the way. Looking at a floor, I have it 7-10, splitting all of their divisional opponents, beating the Falcons and Bucks, losing to the Panthers and Saints, losing to the Broncos, Chiefs, and Chargers, beating the Raiders, beating the Cardinals, but losing to the Browns and Commanders. If Justin Fields maybe doesn't take the step up or continue his upward progression that it seems like he's on track to do, maybe the Bears are kind of a middle-of-the-road team. I do think, though, regardless, they will be much improved from last season where they were the worst team in the league. Floor, 7-10. I don't think that's particularly low. I do think a lot of people predict the Bears to be closer to this, like maybe an 8-win team, whereas I'm a little bit higher as I get onto the prediction of 10-7. I have them sweeping the Packers, a little bit of revenge for Aaron Rodgers owning them for the past however many years. Now that he's gone, they sweep Green Bay, get some revenge, splitting the Vikings and Lions, beating the Falcons, Saints, and Buccaneers, losing to the Panthers, losing to the Broncos, Chiefs, and Chargers, beating the Raiders, and then beating the Cardinals and Commanders, losing to the Browns. In this case, I believe that would put them in second in the NFC North, which is how I have them in my current projection for how this division is going to finish out. I do have the Lions at the top, followed by the Bears, then the Packers, Vikings in last, although I do think all four teams are going to be very close in record. But yeah, that's all I have to say about the Chicago Bears. I really appreciate you all for watching, and if you like the content, feel free to subscribe. See ya.